Question 6. Jablonski, who owns a car dealership, has donated cars to driver education programs at area schools for over 5 years. She found the statistics on car accidents to be disturbing and she wanted to do something to encourage better driving in young drivers. Some members of the community have shown their support for this action by purchasing cars from Jablonski's dealership. All right, so first step, argument of facts. Clearly, we have just a statement of facts here. So nothing for us really to do but proceed to the question stem. Which of the following propositions is best illustrated by the passage? And you notice best illustrated. So this is an illustration question. Again, trying to find the proposition that best illustrates what's going on in the passage. So let's be clear about what happened in the passage. We had Jablonski donate cars because she was concerned about the statistics on car accidents and she wanted to do something to encourage better driving. So she donated cars to encourage better driving. And then what was the result of this action by Jablonski? Well, some members of the community showed their support by purchasing cars from Jablonski's dealership. So basically, she donated these cars out of a genuine concern for safety. And then what happened was it actually ended up boosting her business because the community showed support for this action by coming to her when they wanted to buy a car. So that's what we're trying to illustrate here. So let's find the proposition that captures this idea. Let's take a look at A. The only way to reduce traffic accidents is through driver education programs. Again, clearly not a general proposition that illustrates what's going on in the passage. No one's talking about the only way to reduce traffic accidents. That's not what's happening, so A does not follow. Again, these are really like a kind of a must-be-true question, trying to find the proposition that captures what you saw in the passage, right? So it is a type of must-be-true question. We're trying to get what's in the passage into a general proposition, and in order for that proposition to illustrate the passage, it must be true according to what we read in the passage, right? B, altruistic actions sometimes have positive consequences for those who perform them. Well, if you notice, that's exactly what we saw in the passage. Jablonski donated cars altruistically because she had a genuine concern about the statistics on car accidents. She found them to be disturbing and she wanted to do something about it. The result of this altruistic action was people came to her to purchase cars in an effort to show their support for her action of donating the cars. And so you notice sometimes again means that on at least one occasion. So clearly B captures what took place in the passage. This one situation with Jablonski, altruistic action, resulted in positive consequences. Therefore, altruistic actions sometimes have positive consequences for those who perform them. But again, let's make sure, checking C, young drivers are the group most likely to benefit from driver education programs. Again, does not follow. Where is that in the passage? There's nothing about this being the group most likely to benefit from driver education programs. So C does not follow, and C would be out. D, it is usually in one's best interest to perform actions that benefit others. Again, the problem with D is usually is too strong. We know that in this one situation, it turned out to be in Jablonski's best interest to perform actions that benefit others. But for us to take this one instance and say it is usually in one's best interest to perform actions that benefit others would be too broad, not supported, so D would be out. Notice the difference between B and D. Altruistic actions sometimes, again, that's at least once, on at least one occasion, whereas D usually much broader, much more difficult to prove. And then lastly, checking E, an action must have broad community support if it is to be successful. Again, first of all, we don't even know if it has broad community support. We just know that some members of the community have shown their support for this action by purchasing cars from Jablonski's dealership. And again, we don't even know if this action by Jablonski has been successful. It doesn't tell us whether this has had any effect on car accident statistics, nothing to that nature. So first, we don't even know if it's successful, and then we don't know if the support is broad. So how could E be the proposition that best illustrates the passage? Does not follow. So E would be eliminated.